job, and thank you for the applause. We're very proud of what Camp's been able to do over the years, and we're proud of what we continue to do. With that, I'd like to move to our keynote speaker, Mr. Steve Marquardt. Steve is the Vice President of Olympia Development of Michigan, ODM. Mr. Marquardt's experience includes 25 years in development, leasing, and management of global real estate portfolios. He is leading ODM's effort in the $650 million Catalyst development project that will include residential, retail, and office facilities in conjunction with an events and entertainment center that will become the new home to the Detroit Red Wings. He is active in the community and currently serves on boards with the Downtown Detroit Partnership, Detroit Entertainment District Association, the M1 Rail, Ellie's Place, and a healing center for grieving children. Ladies and gentlemen, let me welcome Steve Marquardt.
Wow, this is the largest pre-bid meeting I've ever been to, so welcome. I had to laugh as I saw your board member, Preston Wallace, leaving. This is a first for me. Someone left before I even started talking, so one of those days. Thank you again for being here. Thanks for having me. Welcome to MotorCity Casino Hotel, and thanks again to the great staff here for everything that they do and for putting on this great event. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to tell you a story. And it's really a remarkable story, and it's a story of vision and commitment and passion. I'm going to show you a video in a second, but what I'd like to do is set the table and set the sort of frame and ground the conversation with one simple fact. When this project started, as you may have read in the news and heard about, it was about an arena, right? That's all we heard about. It was the arena, it's the arena. And what we quickly figured out in this project is it's really about a district. And I'm going to talk about urban fabric and why the vision grew to be what it is. But we're certainly lucky. As you look up there, you certainly see the Detroit Arena. I'm not selling naming rights today, but you got some thoughts? You can see me afterward. But it's the Detroit Arena, right? But you see all this other incredible collection of assets in this dense urban core that makes it a place like no other. So as this vision emerged, as you may know, last September we started our journey with a launch, and that launch happened right on the site of our arena. I'm going to show you a quick video that helps sort of frame the conversation, and then what I'd like to do is walk you through the project, where we've been, where we're going, and how we're going to partner with everybody in this room to make this an incredible project. So if you could roll the video, please.
Today is a day for celebration. A celebration of the city of Detroit, the region, the state of Michigan, the ultimate comeback stories in the making. And a celebration to mark the launch of a sports and entertainment district in our city that will excite our fans and guests and add so much to the fabric of our community. A district comprised of 5 mixed-use neighborhoods with unique personalities, anchored by existing and new world-class sports and entertainment venues, situated in an absolutely key location for building upon the amazing progress that is already underway here. Our belief is that to be successful, we have to do this together. A district built by companies and workers right here in the city with products made in our state. Michigan made, Detroit built.
We're Detroit, we're Michigan, we're working together, and we're going to have a bright future for our children and our children's children.
We've got 3,000 construction jobs coming to this site. We are working in partnership with the city agencies, and we have set a goal together that 51% of all of those jobs will go to Detroiters.
Thank you for joining us in celebrating this next chapter in our city and our state's comeback story. A chapter that will turn blight into progress, that will provide jobs for Detroiters and Michiganders, and that will have an economic impact that rings loudly throughout the entire state of Michigan.
Okay. And before I dive in, I do want to echo sentiments that were mentioned earlier. It was with great sadness that our team learned of the passing of your member, Ken Mason. Ken was working on our project as well, and it was incredibly sad news, and our thoughts and prayers to go out to his family. And we think about Ken every day. Moving on, and as Ken would want us to, this is the, as I mentioned earlier, this is where the vision started, right? Recognizing that we have this incredible collection of assets in this dense urban core. So what we did is we started this process by asking ourselves, you know, what is it that we want to be? And we started this very admittedly painful process of trying to name our district and determine our identity. And what we quickly figured out is that, number one, it wasn't just one district, but a collection of unique places in this dense urban core rooted in this idea that we have these world-class amenities all sort of situated in one place. We've got the unbelievable Fox Theater, renovated Fox Theater. We have the Comerica Park. When Comerica Park opened, it set a standard for how sports venues could work. It was lowered 27 feet into the ground. You entered at grade. Truly innovative when it opened. MotorCity Casino Hotel, Ford Field, the Fillmore. What we have is this incredible collection of assets, and very quickly we figured out that the thread that bound them all together was this idea that you would come out and be amazed. And I'm here to promise you that our district and our event center will deliver on that promise. Okay, I'm going to switch back and forth here. Hopefully you can... there we go. So a framework to have this conversation certainly is where is the district, how is it situated within the city, and what is the opportunity that we have in front of us, right? So you've got this, this 3.3 mile, I know that only because that's the length of M1 rail, so easy to remember. But this idea that Woodward is our central spine is probably not a surprise to anybody in this room, right? City of Detroit burned to the ground in 1805. Judge Woodward put a stake in the ground and said, this is the new city center, right? So what's going on right now, again, I'm sure you know this, but it bears repeating, is to our north. And again, just to ground you, this is us right here. This blue dotted line is this regrettable trench that we have going right through our city center. For the urban planners in the room, I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. And you know, as you know, I-75 bisects our district. In many ways, it's only 125 feet or so wide, but in many ways, it's a mile wide. And that's something we're working on, and I'll explain in a second. But so we've got our district right here, and I'll go over a district map with you and show you sort of the unique character of each of our sub-districts. But what we've got to our north is incredible momentum and prosperity. Sue Mosey and her team and everybody who's doing great things up there. You've got the anchors of any great urban renewal or any great development. You've got higher education with Wayne State. You've got DMC doing all the great things that they're doing over there. So Midtown is taking care of itself, and it's a great place to be. We've also, in the central business, seen lots of investment, the Rock team, all the great work they're doing, all the people who are making commitments down into the CBD. That too is emerging and evolving. And what we had is this incredible opportunity to connect these two. And that's where we are right here, this ability to connect the central business district with all the great things that are happening in Midtown. So as we contemplated the district, what we knew is that, and this is sort of at the center of the debate on funding our highways, and I don't have to tell everyone in this room that a world-class district needs to be rooted on solid infrastructure. And that was evident to us early on in this process, and what we recognized is that we need to improve the infrastructure in our district. And that includes not just streets and sidewalks and landscaping and all the above grade elements that you'd expect, but also below grade, right? We've got sewers and electrical infrastructure, and we're going to be dealing with all of those concurrently as this project evolves, and again, build this development on a solid foundation. Okay, here's our district. So I'll just orient you to what we've got going on here. So right in the heart of it all is the Fox Theater and the Fillmore. And I'm going to show you a great rendering of an announcement we made, I believe it was last month, about a new building that we're going to be building downtown right next to the Fox. But that really is sort of Main Street for us. Now, as you work your way around our district, up here in the northwest corner, your MotorCity where you are today, this is Cass Park area, and I'm going to show you some renderings of what we think these districts want to be and how they should be oriented. But what we also recognize is there are existing assets, people live there. And in particular, in Cass Park, there's a wonderful park that can anchor this new district. So we have working titles. I'm going to share them with you. But at the end of the day, as we're successful and when we're successful, these characters will emerge. But just by way of orientation, again, you've got Cass Park here. We've got the park itself, Masonic Temple, and then grounded to the west by MotorCity. Right here, we have what we're calling Columbia Park area. May stick, might not, but we're calling it, that's our working title, Columbia Park. That currently is a lot of parking assets, and our visitors to our current venues and to the area, that's a very popular parking spot, but there are other opportunities that I'll talk about in a little bit in that area as well. As you come to the east here, we've got Comerica Park and Ford Field. And then right in the center of it all is where the new arena is going to be located, right on Woodward. One observation, these lines that you see here are very distinct, and they're very bright lines, and they're related to obligations that you've heard about in administrative matters in terms of defining the district. But another thing that we know, and it's really been gratifying in this process, is that as you go around the dial here and look at what our plans are, there's always somebody on the other side of that bright line who has an interest in what we're doing. And we've really reached out to all of our sort of neighbors and friends, certainly Sue and her team to the north. You've got DTE over here in active conversations with them about all the great things that are going on in Brush Park. You've got Ford Field, the list goes on. This is how we're organized. So, as I mentioned, right here you see what we're calling Cass Park. And these are images about what we think these areas want to be, and some of these are obvious from an urban planning perspective, but it gives you a sense of sort of where we're going. So, Cass Park Village, gritty, urban, residential, certainly where we're headed. You need 3 hands. Next, we're what we think of as Woodward Square. Again, it's sort of Sibley, where Sibley meets Woodward. That's the site. I'm sure you've seen it or gone by it. And again, cutting edge, heart and soul of this world-class sports and entertainment district. Columbia Street. The vision for Columbia Street, if you don't know, Columbia Street is the street that runs between the Fox Theater and the Fillmore right now, and it's the site of the new structure that I'm going to show you in a second. But it's the best example of great urban design, where it's going to be a two-sided retail experience, intimate, vibrant, heavily programmed, and again, these images sort of reflect that vision. Columbia Park. Again, currently parking assets. There'll always be a need for parking in the district, but in time, as we're successful, we certainly envision that there'll be residential infill, public spaces, all the great elements of great urban design. Wildcat Corner, again, that's right where Comerica Park currently exists. Again, a working title. The term Wildcatter comes from in old ball fields, you used to have all of these unique viewing opportunities into these great old stadiums, including Comerica Park, and folks used to stand on milk crates and try and peer in and get these great glimpses of what's going on, and they were called Wildcatters. So that's a homage to a little bit of history there. Okay, get to the good stuff. So this is a sort of the geography of what we've got going on, and I think it's a great representation of it's not just about an arena. It is in fact about a district. So I'm going to go through each of these elements for you, but just again to ground you, here's our I-75, the new event center, and Comerica Park. Okay. This was an exciting announcement, again, that we made about a month ago. And what this is this is of course the Fox Theater and the Fillmore. And we're really excited about getting shovels into the ground. It's not just about the event center. There's going to be lots of mixed-use development that happens simultaneously. We're very excited about this one. This is the Little Caesars Global Resource Center on the site of the current Columbia Street parking lot. Couple things of note. It really is architecturally, and I think there are folks in this room who have been working on this project, so great work. It really is sort of a tribute to the past with some of the architectural elements of the structure. And then with an eye looking forward as the building becomes more modern as it sits adjacent to the Fox Theater. So incredible opportunity, celebrates the success of a great organization that's been doing it for over 50 years. And has been committed every step of the way. And I meant to mention earlier, as you in the video you saw our chairman and CEO, Christopher Illich. He's as passionate, and the passion starts with him, and it's really sort of spread throughout the team that we're all excited about this, and this will be one of the first projects that come online. Okay. This very little simple diagram in the lower right fundamentally changed the lives of everyone on our team. Looks simple, and it's a really powerful diagram that really is the backdrop to the geometry and the thinking behind the arena. And quite simply, what we've done is we've deconstructed the arena as you know it. This is the arena or event center that you're used to, right? It's a big box. It sits in a sea of parking. It's a giant hulking monolith, 200 feet, you know, above, pushed right up against the street. And we didn't believe that that was good urban design or an appropriate way to blend this into the fabric of this neighborhood and of this district. So what we've done is we've broken these elements out. We folded them out from the traditional box that you're used to. And I believe I'm going to walk you through them right now. Okay, one element of this of the event center, you see in the upper right here, it's an atrium of sorts. It's going to double as the egress path from the event center and the bowl itself, but also be this unique sort of two-sided experience, heavily programmed, open not just when an event is happening, but also when in non-event times, and be almost like an urban street for people to enjoy. Okay. To the east of the event center, right there on Woodward, what we believe, very appropriate scale, great urban design, four-story building. Again, all of the elements of this project are mixed use. This is going to be office space over retail, two-sided. It'll be served by both Woodward Avenue and by the event center itself. And be home to the operations, Olympia Entertainment, Detroit Red Wings, and be home for the team store. Okay, to the south, another mixed-use element currently getting programmed. Again, great urban design, first floor, retail, heavily focused on supporting the sports and entertainment activities of the district. On the block just north of the service drive, what's currently envisioned as a hotel to support all of the activities of the district. To the west, this is an active plaza, and again, it's going to be a great space when you come to the event center, when you come to the district. It's about the size of Rockefeller Center in New York. It's a place where we would envision people would come before ball games, see a concert, outdoor, really take advantage of the environment that's been created. And here is a rendering of that as we envision it being activated. Okay, let's dive into the design. This is a very powerful image of the event center itself, and it shows a few things that are fundamental to the design. First of all, this is grade, right? So when you enter into the event center, the event level is 37 feet below grade. What that allows us to do is to have a scale of the building that is appropriate to its surroundings and to all of the other development. So that sits about 100 feet or just under 100 feet above grade, rather than, as I mentioned, 200 fee in other venues that you might be familiar with. Okay, just another image. This is that glass area that I mentioned before, the sort of area adjacent to the bowl, and these are just, again, renderings of where we're headed. Okay, and I know we have some of our team members here, just to sort of thank the people on this list and everybody who's been involved and is going to get us across the finish line. Starts with Olympia Development Michigan. We're the developer. We are partnered on this project with the DDA, right? Our ultimately, at the end of the day, our landlord. We've been joined at the hip with them in all of the public approval and entitlement process. The MEDC, we've got Heritage Development Services, who's really done a great job working with us. That's Doug Diggs and his team, working on our outreach and making sure that we reach our participation goals and that we've set for ourselves, which I'll outline in a second. We've got our general contractor, Bart Mallow Hunt White. We've got Heinz Interest operating in an ownership rep capacity, and then of course working with the City of Detroit Human Rights Department and Detroit Employment Solutions Group. Okay, and I see a lot of familiar faces here. You've been at some of our events. Michigan made, Detroit built. Our goals are clear. We've stated them. We're working real hard to get there. But as I think everyone in this room knows, our goal is 51% Detroit participation, Detroit resident participation on the construction job, and then 30% Detroit headquartered or based business. So we've reached out to the Detroit workforce. We've reached out to the contracting community. That's why I was so pleased to be here today. And we've actually reached out statewide to sort of help people understand the connections that they can make to be part of this project and help us reach our goals. We've, again, 3,500 Detroit residents so far. There's going to be continuing and ongoing outreach. We've got, before every bid pack, it's really something that I know you're already engaged in, but we're looking forward to your continued participation and engagement. At the end of the day, this is sort of where it all lands, and I know this will be music to the ears of everybody in this room. We want to get started, right? We're having our challenges right now on our zoning that you may have read about. We're going to get through it, but we need to get through it. We need to get started. We're going to create over 8,300 jobs. It's going to have an economic impact of $1.8 billion, and we need to get going. So we're committed to that. We're working our way through it, and we're preparing for that. A significant part of our program and our commitment is something that we call Community Connect. The person leading our efforts from Olympia is here today, Rod Blake. I see him. He's over here. Rod is spearheading our Community Connect effort. And what it is, it started as a conversation that you may have read about with our neighborhood, our residents, the people who are impacted by our development. And we reached out to them and ultimately formed, I think it's on here, the Neighborhood Advisory Committee. And what that is a group of stakeholders that work with Rod on the issues related to this development to make sure that when we're done, it's going to be something that we're all proud of, and we know that's going to be the case, but soliciting their input along the way. Talking about the things that come up. What about the scale of the building? What about traffic flow? All of those things we work with the Neighborhood Advisory Committee. We mentioned aggressive goals for Detroit participation. We have this unique opportunity with some of the great assets and the great neighbors that we have. Cass Tech's one of the best high schools in this country, and I don't have to tell you guys that. And we have an opportunity to partner with them. They're our neighbor to the near west, working on them with internship programs. A minority entrepreneurship program. We have this great opportunity as part of a destination sports and entertainment district to have startup restaurants and have them be part of the development when it comes online. Certainly restoring Cass Park to its former glory is something we're committed to. With all great developments, we're going to have a commitment to green spaces. We've made a commitment to fund event security so that the city can use those resources and dedicate it to other priorities. So a real strong commitment to our community and to partnering with all of our public and private partners. Okay, if I'm not mistaken, this is a video.
Detroit is in the midst of an incredible comeback. We know that for Detroit to succeed, its people have to succeed. And who better to lead the charge of Detroit's revitalization than the people like you right here in this city.
It's not buildings, it's not brick and mortar, it's really the people. So many people are trying to help the city of Detroit. It's going to be a lot sooner than later. This is just a start. You're really talking about a community thing.
Jobs, economy is the potential and the hope for this area. It's not for today, also for generations come. Detroit is coming back and we are here to prove this.
I think the goal of this event is really to create opportunities for people, make sure they're getting the training, the resources they need to get hired in the future for whatever positions we have for the district, for the arena, for once it's built, making sure that people are prepared for those interviews and for those opportunities.
Really putting the information in the hands of the people so that they can carry forward the charge and the message, and I think it's been very successful.
Things are changing in Detroit. There's a lot of opportunities out there, and skilled trades is a viable career path for a lot of Detroit residents. Get the information, find out what you got to do to get yourself into these positions.
The work is coming, some of it is here already, and that it's not too late for them to get ready. Someone who's just graduating high school, who's trying to figure out their next steps, to someone who's re-careering and really wants to find inroads to another career opportunity. Now is the time to take those steps, to connect with the people who can help you design that plan and to move forward.
Everybody wants to believe in a comeback story, and I think Detroit's the perfect opportunity for that. I think we're already starting there. There's nowhere to go but up.
This is the start of allowing folks the opportunity to get prepared and to be able to take these great jobs when they come online.
Again, thanks to our President and CEO, Mr. Christopher Illich, for the vision and the leadership that's brought us to this state and will help us get across the finish line. Just a couple concluding thoughts. Number one, certainly you've seen a vision of revitalization, a passion, of energy, but one of the things I want to point out is opportunity. You've heard it many times. This is an amazing opportunity. It's an amazing opportunity to do things the right way, get it done, and do so through partnership and cooperation. So it's great to be here with all of you, because what we know in partnership with Detroit residents, with labor, with our public and private partners, we've got the best trades, we've got the best people, we've got people ready to work and ready to do this thing. And I don't have to tell you guys, this is a complicated thing. Right? It's not just an arena, it's mixed-use development. There's all these things that are going to happen somewhat concurrently as we stage this. It's all going to come online exactly in 2017 in the fall as it must. But there's opportunity. So one thing I'd like you to remember, thedistrictdetroit.com. Okay, that's the single sort of landing place to be involved. If you haven't been involved in some of our outreach efforts or some of the events that we've done, go there, sign up. It's how we're going to pull everyone, into this project and make sure we're all together. So, in conclusion, and I'm going to be around. I know we're not having any questions, but I'd love to stay around afterwards and answer any of your questions. But at the end of the day, what we've got is this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to do something that's really never been done right like this before. So we're excited. We're excited to have you here. We're going to do this thing. It's an awesome project. We want you to be a part of it. And I want to thank you again. It's been a privilege to be here, and I look forward to talking with you after.
Steve, I want to thank you very much for your time today. Everybody in this room stands willing to help you with this project, so I'm sure you'll have a lot of takers on questions and answers a little later. Steve, thank you very much for taking time out of your busy schedule to be with us today. Thanks again. Let's hear it for Steve.